Welcome back, everyone, to the North American Challenger Series. I'm Dominic Sater-Romer, moving into the caster booth with my main man, Aiden Zyrene Moon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be rid of Freak.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. Well, welcome aboard. As long as you don't say what he said at the start of the last broadcast, we're good.
Yeah, we've had enough of that ice cream. But we're also not going to talk about spiders this time either. That's a plus. Yeah, okay.
I can't win.
Okay, anyways, we're going to keep the action rolling
Liv?
with game number 2 between Ember and NME. So far, Ember has a lead in this series, taking game number 1 over NME.
Yeah, Ember, they played a patient early game with Contracts and Golden Glue, assisting Solo to shut down NME's top lane Graves because he kept shoving in the nature of that champion. And despite the camp, both teams actually stayed even for the first 25 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Ember, after picking off IKENU in the bottom lane, forced a fight with a TP play in mid. It netted Ember 4 kills, the eventual ace, and a Baron, which gave them the momentum they needed to split push and close out the game. Now, last week, Ember made a big jump, moving from last place to second, and their jungler, Contracts, was the man leading the charge.
Yes, that 2-0 over Team Liquid Academy. Contracts, he does 25% of his team's damage, and it has the highest damage per minute over the rest of his team, including the mid laner Golden Glue. So this is a jungler that brings more damage to a team fight than your mid laner does. So Contracts, he farms a lot, and he's had a strategic playstyle where he positions himself to contest objectives. Mechanically, he's very good. But in the past, we've seen him play very aggressively. We've seen him get overconfident. But now it just seems like he's trying to out-macro play other junglers in this tournament. So last game, though, he did go back to the Elise, wasn't playing the Mundo. The Mundo was actually taken away for fear of it being in Contract's hand.
It still ended up working out for them. But meanwhile, NME started the day in a tie for last. They're still in contention for a playoff spot, however. But they've got to start their run today.
Yeah, they're actually in last now because they lost that last game, and Dream Team now have that one. So they're sitting at 6th place right now. But veteran player Otter on NME, he has been playing well on his Kalista, but he hasn't had the same success on other champions like Ezreal. So Otter, he's typically weak in lane, but he does shine in team fights, so he's waiting for those power spikes to really come online.
Yeah.
So last week, we did finally see a team take away Wolfie's go-to champion, which everybody's been like, why don't you ban Xerath? Well, it doesn't matter. He'll just play Vel'Koz. They banned Xerath and Syndra away from him, but he didn't care.
Yes.
Enemy team did, though.
Yeah, so much damage with that disintegration. But let's check out the teams that we've got coming up right now. On the blue side for this game, it's Ember. In the top, Solo. Jungle is Contracts. Mid lane is Golden Glue with AD carry Lod and support Stunt.
And on the red side, it's Enemy. IKENU in the top lane, Obvious in the jungle, Wolfie in mid, Otter at AD carry, and Trance on support.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about that Xerath. Well, in the last game, Wolfie actually managed to get Xerath, and interestingly enough, the way that Ember played around it was they got Twisted Fate on Golden Glue, and they just ganked side lanes. They never engaged on Xerath unless they knew they could win the fight.
Yeah, it was really good. What they ended up doing is they were continuing to wave clear, but wave clearing against a Xerath is pretty much just fighting a brick wall.
Exactly. It's
not going to happen. He's going to be able to out-wave clear you every time. So they went to side lanes, they went around him, making sure that he had to clear a wave, and they were able to gank other places. So the score ended up being 12 kills to 1 kill.
Yeah. Very solid play out of Ember. As you can see, we have entered picks and bans for the next one. Malphite, Bard, and Alistar. Now, the Malphite and Bard are target bans, echoing what happened in the last one. Zilean, Morgana, banned away from Ember. I believe those are
the last
similar.
They're very similar. The only thing that's missing now is the Alistar was put in place of a Kalista ban previously by Ember, and Enemy, they banned Corki last time as their last ban. Now it's Twisted Fate. So Corki and Kalista both on the table.
Well, that strategy of the Twisted Fate going all over the place worked so well, but with Kalista open for Otter, Ember, they decide to play around it. They're going to pick that away for Lod.
Yeah, they give it to Lod. This also enables Stunt to have an engaging support. Alistar not on the table, but he has played Poppy in the past. Poppy left up, Graves left up, Lulu left up, Gangplank, Zilean, everything, Corki. Basically every power pick is left on the table.
Kench. Yeah, if I were in solo queue right now, I'd be typing Tom Kench, take it,
We actually haven't seen a lot of Tom Kench.
Yeah, 6.2. He did receive a bit of a nerf, not quite as strong as he used to be, but it is going to be Corki and Poppy now locked in.
Yep.
We don't know where that Corki is going to be going. My gut instinct says it's going to Otter, just because Wolfie loves mages like
Well,
Xerath,
I feel like he likes poke mages.
Yeah.
Right? the Vel'Koz, the Xerath. So I think that this is pretty much going to be the same. I know that he was a AP Ezreal player for a long time, so it may be a Corki for the mid lane. I wouldn't put it past Wolfie to play a different type of poke champion. Same type of strategy for him, though.
Yeah, and the response from Ember, if you know the mid laner's just going to poke and fire out skill shots, soak him up. Get a shield with Braum. Stuntopolis takes that. Contracts, looks like he's going to return to the Elise once again. Strong performance in game number 1, 2-0 and 5, ganking left and right.
Yeah, Contracts with an aggressive jungler this time, not going back to the Mundo. Went 2-0 and 5, like you said, on Elise. So looking for another good early pressure game here from him. He's up against Obvious. And the only game that NME has won was off the back of Obvious's Poppy in the jungle where he went 2-1 and 9. So Obvious, if this is a jungle Poppy, it could be a top lane, it could be a support. I would not put it past them to do that. This is a great matchup to watch because I think Obvious is a strong point for NME, and I think that Contracts is a strong point for Ember.
See how that works out between the junglers as NME get down to their next two. It's going to be Lulu locked in, plus Nautilus as well. This is building up to be a very tanky composition.
It is, and that could be a Lulu top, it could be a Poppy top, Lulu mid, it could be a Corki mid, right? There's so many different places for these champions to go. It could even be a Nautilus top, right? There's so many different things.
Tricky situation. Ember riding off of their win in the previous one, looking for the next one. Heimerdinger being hovered by Stunt. Don't think we're going to get a repeat of last week's collegiate performance. Probably not going to see any Heimerdinger as they just scroll through the remaining set of champions.
Solo keeps going back to, or Stunt keeps going back to the Fiora for Solo. Solo, last we saw him was inside of the LCS playing for Echo Fox. In top lane, he played Rise. He dominated the game, but he never used teleport. Not a single time. Tilted. I'm still tilted from that to this day. So he has the Fiora. He's looking for a different type of split pusher and dominant carry.
So he did use teleport in the previous game.
Good.
I just wanted to double check. He was like, he played Poppy. He did have teleport. He did use it.
You remember him using it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I recall. I was like, oh my gosh, they're teleporting. And then, yeah. Everybody else in the room was like, what? I don't even.
Yeah,
I was the only one watching the game. It's crazy. Yeah,
but
Victor locked in for Golden Glue now.
So Victor for Golden Glue, he has this wave clear champion. If they lock in the Xerath here, then it's a Corki to the bot lane, and it's a very magic damage heavy composition. Not a lot of tanks on the other side, but there are abilities to buy Abyssal Scepter for Victor, get yourself some MR, maybe even go Athenes. I mean, it's a little bit out of the way of the build that you typically want to go, but it wouldn't be that bad up against a full magic damage comp. So this is why they pivot here.
That's the pivot.
They pivot because they want to have at least some type of physical damage in this composition. I know that Corki has a little bit, but now you have, this is actually a really like kind of cohesive composition here from NME. You have two forms of wave clear with Varus and Corki, but then you also have Lulu. Then you have a defensive champion, the Lulu, for both of your AD carries. You can kite, you can peel, you can buff them up. Then you have somebody to remove people from team fights and peel. So you have you have Poppy, and you also have the Nautilus. So both of these champions, you're looking for peel, you're looking to stand on your carries, make sure nobody can get to them. So NME, trusting in Wolfie, trusting in Otter, ICanEU with the backup there. This is actually a really kind of well thought out composition. Protect the AD carries, peel for them, give them the buffs.
Well, we want to know what you think. Hit us up on Twitter with your game predictions. Tweet at LL Esports with hashtag MBR win or hashtag NME win. And, to continue on that point, the big problem that we saw from NME in game number 1 was they didn't have any way in. They didn't have any hard engage. This time, they've got Nautilus.
Yeah, they have a tiny bit of hard engage here. You can also get the Poppy in with a heroic charge, a flash, and then a snap cast of the ultimate, Keeper's Verdict. But Ember on the other side, Ember looking for what looks to be a split push composition where you have Solo off by himself, Golden Glue clears waves, Contracts look for pick, Lod looks for pick, and Stunt looks for pick. So a lot of pick here where you try to catch people who are trying to go towards Solo's lane or have Solo just get such a lead over Kenny that he's able to just split push to victory. But
it worked in game number 1.
Easier said than done.
So in game number 1, Contracts and Golden Glue ganked Solo's lane over and over and over and got him to the point where his Poppy was unkillable and he could split push. So I wouldn't be terrifically surprised if we saw something similar out of Contracts. This time, though, Golden Glue taking cleanse on the Victor, not going to have teleport on Twisted Fate. Neither the Destiny nor the Gate. Unfortunately, that's not part of Victor's kit.
Yeah, it's very beneficial to bring the cleanse up against somebody like Varus.
Come closer. I don't
Get rid of the ultimate.
Minions
Of course,
have
before that,
spawned.
not too much that you can actually remove.
Yeah, we actually see a swap going on for NME. Last time both lanes were matched, both of the duos in the bottom. So what better way to shut down Solo? Don't let him get the solo lane.
Yeah, lane swap on the Fiora. Sometimes people will lane swap to actually keep a Fiora safe, but that's because you double jungle at the start and you know it's a lane swap. So usually a team, I think CLG actually does it quite a bit, where you'll want to pick Fiora and then lane swap Fiora. But here, trying to double jungle. Obvious already used his smite. So,
yeah, it looks like Lot is just going to turn onto IKennyU, just trying to bully him away. Takes some big damage. Flash used from Obvious as the aggression is not going to stop. Lot gets chunked out to below half in answer, though. They're just delaying poor Obvious and Kenny.
and they're also missing CS, and they're also missing pushing up this wave, which means that eventually, if you don't push this wave fast enough, Kenny gets to TP to it and clean it out. Braum goes back. Stunt. He's going to try to harass them.
Yeah, zoning off
They've already
the
done it.
blue buff even.
Well, they were doing wolves.
Yeah.
So what you do is you do your smaller camps. You don't care too much about those gigantic buffs when you're on the weak side of the map.
Yeah, Solo finally catching up with contracts. He's got 3 of the creeps now, as he's just been clearing out some of the smaller camps away to help contracts with the double jungle. But he has been a bit slow to respond because it was NME who initiated this lane swap. In the mid lane, Golden Glue and Wolfie are going to continue to farm Trance with a quick roam. Just zones a Golden Glue away from lane.
Yeah, gets level 2 pretty early on for the support. You can see Stunt still level 1. And the reason they actually split off in the top side is it's a different type of lane swap. So Contracts will hit 3 right now, and he's not on this turret. But what NME did in response is NME kept IKennyU level 1. He runs all the way to the top lane to get some damage on that turret. And Obvious gets to farm the jungle until he's level 3, so he can show up and be a decent force in these fights. Of course, he still has a blue buff to take, so he could actually hit level 4 off of the jungle clear here and be ahead of Contracts. But it's at pretty much at the sacrifice of your top laner getting level 2. It's actually something that Immortals did in their game against TSM, is they waited for Olaf Reignover to get level 3, and they kept Huni level 1, and then he became a distraction.
Yeah.
And then Reignover showed up level 3, pretty much a level above everybody else in the game.
Surprise scenario. We're going to see how it plays out as the 2 tier 1s are traded. Solo finally catching some experience as both the duo laners are going to recall.
Yeah, Kenny there catches the casters, pulls them back. When you are creating a freeze and you want it to push out towards you, you want those minions to actually be closer to your enemy's base. You want the larger number of minions to be there because they're going to be reinforced by the next wave faster. Multiple seconds faster, so they're getting more damage off. And so that wave builds up because they're killing the other wave faster, and then they just slowly push out.
We'll see how that works out for KennyU as now Lod heads up there. Similarly, Stunt going to follow along as Obvious continues to clear out.
There's the wave.
Outside of the jungle. Yep. Yeah, Lod already knows that this is going to start pushing, so he's trying to break it as quickly as possible.
The thing is, he's going to try to break it, but it's just going to make it a large wave coming towards that turret. Are they actually going to send somebody to catch this wave? Because it's not a full lane swap push.
Late recall from Kenny sends him to the bottom. This wave is not going to be answered.
Yeah, so you could stay here at this turret and take it because Contracts and Solo are not actually running straight up here. But they aren't getting CS or experience on the other side of the map. So it's a small missed opportunity, but it's the safer play where you just play out this lane swap and then lane swap it back and pretty much repeat what you just did over again.
As you saw in the fan vote, currently people are voting for Ember. Well, they are just a bit behind as Kenny is going to catch up with the wave along with the rest of NME trying to take that second tier 1 and answer.
You know what I really hate about this whole lane swap thing when it goes back and forth? Is as a jungler, when it's over, you don't have your buffs anymore. They've timed out. No, seriously, now you're just running around without red buff, without blue buff, clearing your jungle. You go for a gank, you're pretty much your first gank of the game, and you're just like, well, I gotta land this skill shot. But I have to make it count.
But I don't have red buff.
I don't have red buff.
Nor do I have blue buff or enough mana to go through a couple of rotations.
And then your next blue buff goes to your mid laner, so you pretty much just yeah, you never get a blue buff.
It's punching. So Rift Herald looks to be the priority now from Ember. They're going to get the fast track to it. Contracts looks cleared out with stun. Ren stacks building up. Any Rens to secure it. Looks like they're going to give it over to Lod.
Give it over to the AD carry as opposed to the jungler. Of course, there are different trade-offs for it. Just means that they want to shove out
Different schools of thought. There's the AD carry school of thought, then the right school of thought for the jungler.
Thank you. See, Freak never would have said that. Freak would have been all about that AD carry lane.
Oh.
Yeah.
You get more out of, I feel at least, that you get more out of the jungler, because then the jungler gets to roam around, he does increased damage when he ganks.
Yep.
You just have to trust
he
that
backs
the jungler
faster than the other jungler.
Yeah.
So you're saving seconds. I mean, if I'm backing 4 seconds faster than the other dude, I get to lane 4 seconds faster. Hey! He's not ganking like that.
4-second preparation. But then you also have to trust your jungler that he's going to follow up with the Rift Herald. And that's it's a trust fall.
Sometimes you give it to him and he's just like, I'm farming faster.
I know. That's the worst. Like, you're not getting it in the future.
Sometimes use it as an excuse to sit in their lane and exhort. You're like, I'm buffing your minions, but I'm also secretly taking your CS and your experience.
No!
I'm very sorry now. Thank you for this. But at the same time, in this game, just still, lane swap scenario, solo over the wall, getting some experience.
Huh. He actually is. So this tier 2 looks like it's going to go down. ICANNYU's already at his own tier 2, so this might be an advantage for NME if they can take this one while defending their own. Otter's trying to stagger the wave out as best he can. Might be NME getting a little bit of advantage. Just kidding. Tier 2 is secured for NME.
Ember pretty much doing the same thing, but that wave doesn't really bounce. This wave...
Yeah, Otter's taken a lot of care to make sure that it bounces properly.
Yep. Otter did it right.
Well, that's going to be Dragon now being taken by Ember. Seems like, yes, the turret trades are even as everyone's playing out this lane swap. So far, what appears to be correctly, but Ember are just such a tiny step ahead, taking Rift Herald, taking now Dragon. These neutral objectives could pay off later on.
So, Ember, they get control of this side of the map because they've shoved it in. They're going to be able to take this blue buff away, hand it to Golden Glue, so there's not going to be a blue buff going over to Wolfie on that Varus. And he has the tier, so you really want it. You really want to be able to use those spells on Varus. They're pretty medium cost, but he pretty much only has 2 spells that you get to spam. So stacking the tier up, a little difficult before you have your mana grenade.
We'll be farming it up right now, as you can see, with the tier building as quickly as possible. Golden Glue going for his second Hextech Core upgrade, 2 for blue.
You're going to say that every time, huh?
It's so catchy. It's good.
Yeah.
Yes, he has 2 stacks. So he's going to be upgrading his laser and his
Q, most likely.
Siphon power.
Yep.
Speed, a little bit of shield.
Yep. Yeah. For context for everybody, there was a point where Freak and I were sitting around like, how do you know which upgrade a Victor has? Like, how do you remember the colors? And he's like, yeah, it's easy. 2 for blue. Means he has 2.
And if it's red, then he's dead.
It's brilliant. If he's red, then yeah, he's dead because he's got every single one.
Because you just throw every ability at him.
If it's yellow...
Let it mellow? If it's right...
But I mean...
If it's white, then it's just right. Because then he just takes 1.
Wait, is it a white one? Yes.
Yeah, because that's the first one. Ember, though, are going to shove this tier 2. They're not going to leave it mellow at all. Package picked up for Otter.
If it's white, casters say goodnight. The caster minions, because you get to kill them in 1 shot. Got it! Boom. Oh, I'll never forget.
It's a little convoluted. I'll take it. Okay, so Ember did get the fast track on that play. They're actually down just a little bit in gold, but going for the forward rotation, trying to put NME on the back foot. NME respond, managed to hold on to their turret. Solo heads down bottom now to catch that juicy minion wave, but here's ICANNYU in the mid lane with the rest of NME.
Yes, because the Solo's in the bot lane, and you have a Corki with the package, you get to put pressure onto this mid lane. Wave cleared out, but...
not quite able to take it. Ember a bit slow to respond. They still have the health.
It's still damage, and you have a poke comp. Continue to poke. Continue to wave clear. You're perfectly fine. Package is not going to be used for any engage right here. It's going to wear off. And now Lulu goes to clear top. See? That's why casters say goodnight. Boom. Wave's gone.
But it's 2 for blue now.
Now it
Because he's queuing you. 11 minutes in.
or he's queuing too.
Hey! Oh, hey! Wait, no. Because he's queuing you, because then he gets the speed trade.
I'm just like TOO.
Oh, in addition.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you meant twice.
That's not as catchy though. Hey, he's queuing in addition. Like, it doesn't.
On top of what you were expecting. Uh-oh, Solo. He's going to find Otter, but here comes Trance and Obvious. There's no ward, but Solo's... He's getting the heck out of there. He's like, no. I remember what happened last time.
Yeah, this is the next spot for pressure here. 80 carries. Approaching some power spikes. No Trinity Force just yet, but the Sheen will be enough to enhance the damage of these turrets. And they are far ahead, so it looks like it might just be a Rift Herald trade and some pressure top for possibly bottom tier 2. I don't think that Ember have pushed this wave fast enough. They might just lose this turret.
Tricky situation for Ember as Enemy are sieging bottom. Solo's down there, but he sees 2 members of Enemy now.
You have to wrap middle and try to get that turret because there's just so much time before that top lane wave crashes against that turret. It gets rid of the backdoor bonuses.
Yeah, they're trying to take the top tier 2 right now, but Ember are just a step behind this time around. Might not be able to get it in time as iKenny is heading up there. Ooh, Trance.
You got to back now and get to that top lane turret fast. Also, mid lane's backing. Golden Glue's backing. So if he backs, Wolfie can actually go top.
And the tier 2 is secured. Ember looking to answer with one of their own. They're going to get it. Enemy aren't quite fast enough to save their own tier 2. Dead even in turrets, dead even in gold. Ember, though, they do have Dragon number 1 and the first Rift Herald, looking for the second.
That was really fast for Ember to take that turret. Was not expecting it to be that quick, especially since Corki had the Sheen. Now Trinity Force. Trance is caught.
Lots of damage and a stun brings him low. First blood picked up as Solo chases iKenny down. He's not able to get the full proc of the Grand Challenge. Flashes away from the snare. Contracts is caught, forced to repel away. Stun, running for his life. Lot now is in the front. Golden Glue lands a snare. Finally, they're going to drop one. Obvious, it's still alive, and it's a 1-for-1 trade when it's all said and done.
Everybody is so low. Wolfie!
Oh gosh, Lot
he's like a
the flash auto attack. He's going down.
Oh, you throw out the Q just to be like, I might not have to flash for this. Oh, I got to flash for this.
Yeah.
Barely, though. 2 in favor of enemies, so it's dead even in gold right now. First blood going over to Ember, but it's been equalized.
Yeah, it certainly has.
So many members get away so low here on Ember's side. They pick this fight. TP comes in. Trance is already down, so it ends up being a 4-on-5. But what they use here is boom, right there. I was surprised there's no snapcast of the ultimate. Obvious could have snapcast his ultimate there, possibly killed Solo and Stunt. Stunt gets away, low HP. Solo gets away, low HP. Lot, not quite. And so Wolfie has to blow his flash here for the follow-up. Just literally, Enemy are unlucky on that one.
Yeah.
They could have had 4 kills.
Not quite able to pull it off, but Enemy, as you mentioned, dead even in gold. Still down that first dragon, but the game is young. And the night is young.
And the reason that that fight went that way is mostly just the power spike difference, right? Trinity Force, Youmuu's now on Wolfie. So the difference here was pretty much just that. And the way the composition is built. It's built for the 5-on-5. Trance on the backside.
Forced to cleanse. He's actually flashing as well as Stunt is now caught out. He's dropped by Obvious, the mid-tier 1 with no minions. Goes down to Enemy.
And Trance walking around the side. Solo still split pushing.
Yeah, Lot's trying to solo the Dragon right now with his completed Blade of the Ruined King. Doesn't look like Enemy have any idea, but is that a worth trade? Dragon number 2 for mid-tier 1.
Depends. Replay of this. Is he going to rend it? Boom.
Ooh, Dragon secured.
Yep. So, Lot looks like he's actually just going to go for walking around. Technical difficulties here. Wolfie, everybody. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, we just wanted to get this snapshot in time of what was happening. So we are having a little bit of technical difficulties. But taking that Dragon, securing that one, it's Dragon number 2. The thing that I want to talk about is Enemy. They seem to be just a little bit faster on their rotation. So I was criticizing them a bit early on the lane swap because they were half a step behind, not taking those neutral objectives. But this time they pulled the trigger on that mid lane tier 1. Were able to get the kill and the tier 1.
Yeah, I think that when they got those power spikes, the Youmuu's, as well as having the The Trinity Force completed for Corki. You group up, you fight, you push down the mid lane. It's pretty standard when you have that type of Trinity Force power spike. But the team is also built for 5-on-5. If anybody is not with the team, then they're playing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Because they have the Poppy, they have the Lulu, they have the Nautilus, and then the Callista, or not the Callista, the Corki and the Varus alongside each other. So it ends up being a pretty centered composition on the 280 carries and wave clear and poking and sieging. So enemy have a lot of tools. It for some animation canceling on that champion. It's not a true auto attack reset. Titanic Hydra is.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There's some things to be said about that. But
well, Titanic Hydra, it's not actually an auto attack though. It applies 100% of your base damage, but it's not technically an auto attack.
Actually, it is technically an auto attack.
Is it really?
Yes.
I am so wrong. That's awesome. Really?
So if I'm Rek'Sai, it will consume one of my Qs. If I'm the new Shen,
really?
I use my Q, I auto attack, Titanic Hydra, and then I auto attack again. So you speed up that 3-hit combo. And the thing with the new Shen as well is each hit, like all of his energy costs are really high now, but each hit restores energy. So using Titanic Hydra will actually allow you to get that burst of energy back. So you'll be like 40, 80, and like really fast.
So 1-2 combo.
Yep. So it's actually, it's really good. Also, you can use it to like hit a vital. So if I'm Fiora and I'm like, oh, I don't have a, I could be like, oh, I Q in and hit it, flash and like auto attack, and then
because I thought that was the conundrum that you couldn't use the Hydra on turrets. What has it always been like this? Am I just wrong?
I believe it's been a true auto attack reset for a lot.
Completely wrong. So
it doesn't actually apply to turrets, like damage wise.
For those of you coming back to us, we're going to get right back into game. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, as you see. Lod securing that dragon.
Hey.
The game continued uninterrupted. We're picking up from where we left off, so the players are not experiencing any difficulties on our end. That was just us. Now we've got it all solved. We're all back.
I saw that replay before.
I did.
But it wasn't a replay this time.
It was actually happening.
I can tell the future.
Ooh, this time
he's gonna back.
Yeah, Ember took the dragon. Yes, that's because he's doing a recall animation. Anyways,
he could have canceled.
They took the dragon. They managed to get Rift Herald as well. So that's the second Rift Herald for Ember in addition to their second dragon. So a lot of focus on these neutral objectives, but they are now down in that mid-tier 1 turret, and with Varus farming it up with a blue buff, that might be a little tough to break.
Yeah, Ember are pretty much going to have control over neutral objectives. Just look at the nature of their composition, right? You have the stun. You can throw it out of the gravity field from Golden Glue. It's easier to hit a cocoon in a choke point. You can throw somebody into the choke point. Braum can use his ultimate down the choke point with Glacial Fissure. So you really don't want to contest them yet until you have large power spikes on enemy's side, because then you get to the poke game and you arrive at the objective first, so they have to walk towards your composition and engage on you. Because if you look at Ember's engage, it's pretty much stunt, a flank TP, and maybe Calista ulti as well as Cocoon, so things that are more skill shot reliant.
Tricky situation. Enemy in a similar boat with the Nautilus hook. However, looks like we might be seeing a potential collapse from enemy onto the bottom lane as Solo. His wave gets pushed out, and he's forced to sit there like a sad Fiora. She just wants a worthy opponent. She's even got the Rift Herald buff.
Where's the opponent?
Doesn't have any minions right now. Oh no, the minions are going to give away that she has Rift Herald, and she's in the bush. If Kenny's paying attention, he could just clear the wave.
Yeah.
That's also an option.
Or walk away. Solo can walk away.
Yeah. Lulu's not a worthy opponent. It's more of an insult to say, you are not a worthy opponent.
It was like, oh, you just hit level 9? No.
No, you got to say it with conviction. No. Really, really.
No.
Oh my goodness. 17 minutes in. Still patient game. Enemy are the ones putting the forward pressure, however, as Kenny shoves a wave in the bottom. Solo looks to catch it, completing his Titanic Hydra.
Gotta watch out for the pick here, though. Otter has the package, but it's gone. But more siege. And Victor break.
This mid-tier 2 could be taking some damage. Just lightly poked out, but damage is damage.
Yes, damage is damage. It is not healing.
Yes. I wanted to like set you up for like, yeah, slowly they can chip it down wave by wave, but all right.
But I turn it around on you.
You did.
Hey.
Stunt is going to be the one taking some damage now, trying to keep the turret standing as Law joins up with the rest of the team. And there, 2 waves. They've chunked it down to half.
Yeah.
That's the point, Zyrene.
Yeah, they chunked it down to half. That damage isn't going to get healed up at all. Turrets don't do that. So every damage sticks. But what's going on right now is there's actually a timer on how long they can siege this, and that's how far Solo is pushing up in that bot wave. So now they're going to send IKennyU to go clear that wave. Both have teleport. Contracts hits the wall, though.
And takes some punishment. Spiderlings are polite enough to tank the harass from Otter as they continue to whittle down this turret.
Oh, Stunt didn't hit anybody.
Stunt goes forward. The knockup is only going to find Trance.
Oh, that was heartbreaking there, because now NME get full control of this wave. Solo has to get pulled down to make sure that they have another threat without blowing TP. Kenny's going to push out this wave. He might have to blow his teleport if they engage. But the engage tool of the Fate's Call is down. Yeah,
Law is split on the far side. This mid-tier 2 is going down. Ember not able to keep it standing despite their exceptional wave clear. And they give up nothing in response, holding the wave in the bottom lane with IKennyU.
Yeah, we talk about how good Victor is at wave clearing, but when you're having to wave clear and the wave is already spread out because it's been able to hit the turret due to the pressure that they're exerting on the sides, because it's easier to hit when it's in a line. Yeah. And then when they fan out, you only hit like 4 of them, 5 of them if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So that one was actually, the 2 of them were pretty much standing up afterwards, and that's all they needed to take down the turret from enemy's side.
I like how you were like, you only hit 4, and I was like, you only hit like 2. Oh, 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah. You only hit like 4.
You go diagonal across it.
Oh, that's so clever. I've always been just going in straight lines. TIL.
You played like 3 Victor games, right?
I played like 17-ish, 20, maybe. Probably closer to like 10.
When I watch you, it feels like you've only played 7.
In this game, we're bringing it back. Enemy slowly but surely pulling ahead. They've knocked down these 2 turrets in the mid lane. It's 6-4 in total turrets, but only 1,000 gold. We're seeing minor gold lead in the mid lane, jungle, and top 4 Ember.
So what you do next as enemy is you have all of the outer turrets. You have all 6 of them. Dragon, next dragon, fight over it. Make sure that it's yours because you want that buff up to those stats. You have enough stats now to really justify fighting for this. And you don't want the enemy team to have movement speed because it gives them an easier engage window or opportunity. Or it's easier to engage.
The Ember are preparing for that dragon. Recall from Otter sending him back to base. IKennyU has his teleport as he's split in the far lane, catching some CS, trying to get the level 11 to match Solo. That dragon is going to be spawning soon, judging from the positioning of Ember. In fact, they're rushing the pit right now, but Solo looking for a bit of a surprise.
Oh, Kenny.
Yeah, he's getting some good damage. Knockup is going to buy him some time. Solo tries to catch up. With Wild Growth down, Dragon could be a possibility. The rest of enemy could collapse on the contracts, however. This is a tricky situation. The laser finds Wolfie. He's zoned away. They turn onto Solo. Solo's brought low. He jumps out. The Keeper's Verdict splits them away, and it's a shutdown for Golden Glue, killing Wolfie. This is 5v4 favor of Ember.
That Keeper's Verdict actually saved them. Yo, I think that was a mistake. 4v5, though. No Wild Growth.
Dragon is secured. There goes the ult. It's going to toss Kenny out of the action. He's brought low. The AoE drops Kenny without the Wild Growth. 5v3. They turn on to Obvious, and Ember are cleaning up contracts. Double kill, and that's going to be Laud getting another one. That's in a grand total 4 for none. Favor Ember.
And Ember pick up the 3rd dragon. They pick up multiple kills to give themselves the kill lead, and they might be looking for just a shove to the mid lane, possibly picking up this turret too.
Yeah, finally knock down this mid-tier 1. If you can't do it while Varus is alive, well, try it when he's dead. This mid-tier 1 doesn't stand a chance despite the answer from Otter. It goes down. Cocoon is even going to zone Otter away. 5-3, and now Ember got the gold lead.
Yeah, and as we see that fight again, I want to see the Keeper's Verdict. Watch out for that. Also watch out for the follow-up after.
Oh, no.
So Solo flashed towards it, and Solo got caught by it. So the Keeper's Verdict ended up helping both of them out. I think he just wanted to remove contracts so that they could end up just focusing down the Fiora. Whereas honestly, snapcasting it would have just been better. He had held it and then basically said, well, I have to do something with this now.
Yeah, having a bit of trouble this time around.
I do also want to touch on the fact that Laud picked up stunt after the Dragon, threw stunt past the front line. He actually just squeaked by, and then the Glacial Fissure came down across about 3-4 people. And the follow-up from Victor, the stun, the laser across, just that's how they picked up that fight, was just the clean engage with Callista giving Braum access to the backline and the Glacial Fissure cutting off retreat and knocking everybody out.
And to go back to your point on Obvious using that Keeper's Verdict, this is the difference that we've been seeing between these two junglers. Contracts, he's been playing a patient game on Elise, getting nice and tanky in the front line. Obvious has been trying to do the same, but he's just not finding the valuable targets. And in fights, as you've mentioned, he's been hurting more than he's been helping, getting the team to safety after they've already picked off a few kills. Contracts, oh, he's going to invade right. Uh-oh, this is not a happy position. Repels away to the ward. There goes the ultimate. He's going to be dropped low. Package is going to drop his health. He tries to turn it around for a kill. Yeah, I was giving you a compliment, Contracts. You got to take it in kind.
What's the team getting off of this? Ember, they get bottom wave pressure. Kenny's going to have to back and clear that one out. They're getting mid-wave pressure, so that turret's going to take a little bit of minion damage. Nobody there to follow it up just yet.
I was just complimenting the guy, and then he goes and
Caster Curse.
Gets caught in the jungle.
Caster Curse. But let's talk about what this means for both of the teams. Enemy, bottom of the standings right now. They are actually in 6th place. If they win this game, they are once again tied for 5th place with Dream Team. Ember sit at 3 points right now at 2-2. If they win this, they jump up to 6 points, and then they're only 1 point behind 1st place, which is Apex. Ember already played Apex and went 0-2 against them, so if they end up at the same points, there is no tiebreaker.
It is important for Ember to get that win.
Well, the organization.
We're getting closer and closer towards the end of the season, towards that playoff seeding, and of course, it's only the top 4 who are going to advance into the playoffs.
And Ember, missing playoffs would be heartbreaking for them, so putting themselves in a position where they guarantee being in playoffs. And also, the organization has, they've been very vocal about how determined they are to get to the LCS. Their players had kind of a weekend in the LCS. We saw a lot of their performances. They have a long road ahead of them, and they're blazing that trail right now. They're trying to make it into LCS. They're trying to make it into the promotion.
Situation for Ember as they try to pull further ahead in this. NME trying to stop that from happening as they're only about 1,000 gold behind, reacting very well to what Ember are doing, but not quite able to secure any major advantages. Once again, Contracts is caught deep in enemy territory. He's got some help from Callista, but she's a long way away. Takes some big damage as Otter.
Spiders! The spiders were burning. That's my favorite.
It's bonus gold. Walking on top of the Valkyrie as Elise. Wait, Spiders burning is your favorite?
Yes.
I just wanted to.
Oh, Kenny got it.
Get that clear. Nice. Kenny secures the Gromp as Solo continues to split push. Quite a terrifying force as he has now finished his Black Cleaver on top of that Titanic Hydra.
Yeah, alive spiders are my least favorite. But of course, Titanic Hydra didn't swap it over to Ravenous for the lifesteal. Usually, you'll see people swap it over to that once you get another item that has HP on it, like the Black Cleaver. Some people will actually wait until their 3rd item to do so. And some people actually just keep the Titanic Hydra forever when they stack HP.
It's a preference because it does the same thing. It's an auto-attack reset. It does damage to your opponents.
Ravenous Hydra is not an auto-attack reset.
This is the distinction that I wanted to
Titanic Hydra is a true auto-attack reset.
Okay.
Ravenous Hydra is not. Ravenous Hydra will cancel animations that you were locked out of, but it will not auto-attack reset.
Gotcha. So that's what we were talking about. Yep, and now we've come to a complete Titanic Hydra effect.
In a lot of cases, yes. But if you want HP and from lifesteal, then no.
Yes.
No.
No, I agree with you.
No.
No.
Regardless. Bottom wave getting shoved in again, and top wave here.
Yeah, enemy answer on the opposite side of the map. Kenny, you playing a dangerous game against that solo Fiora. As the rest of Enemy are going to continue pushing this wave forward. Be an opportunity to find a pick, as we can see Enemy are contesting vision. Whoa! The AoE gets dropped, and Otter's forced to drop heal and dash to safety.
Wow, so much burst damage there, and I was talking about that in the previous set with Freak, where you always have to respect the damage that a Victor can do until you get yourself pretty much a Maw AD carries. It's much easier for them to get, and it's actually a very great item. That was always a big weakness for AD carries, is nothing that you want to buy has MR on it except for QSS. That was it. There was no possible way to stack it unless you went for like highly defensive items. Maw feels really great to buy. When it activates, it feels incredible because you have that bonus lifesteal, that shield, and also the bonus spell vamp. So Maw is incredible. And the flat armor pen helps you out against enemy.
And that's what we see out of Enemy. They've already got the Locket of the Iron Solari. Maw of Malmortius is finished on Wolfie. The only outlier was the guy who took the most damage, Otter. He's got a Kirchi Shard right now, so he's gonna have to go out of his way to get that magic.
I've never said the name of that item.
Kirchis? Kirchis?
I have no idea how to say it.
Contracts takes some damage as Trance tries to pull the engage. There's the flash. Snare finds Golden Glue, but his cleanse gets him to safety.
That's why he took it. Now Solo gets to push out that bottom wave. Cleanse is down. Looks like a ping onto around the Baron area, but there's something in the pit for them. So they know it's not being done. Stunt.
Oh, it's a trap. The hook is going to miss, though. Stunt tries to ride it out. Depth charge finds Contracts. The knockups are synchronized, but there's nowhere for Contracts to go. They're trying to turn it around. Teleport from Solo as he joins the fight. It's going to be Keeper's Verdict. Not enough. As Obvious is going 1v1. He flashes over the wall. Solo can't pursue quite yet. Enemy are in a choke, and the Chaos Storm is huge. Solo cleans it up. It's a double kill. Trance forced to flash over the wall. That's 3 members dead.
Nobody checked the pit, and there was a blue ward in it the entire time. So Enemy, Ember knew they weren't doing the Baron. So as soon as they walked forward, they were ready to TP in. Solo comes in. Immediately, Golden Glue lays down all of his damage on these squishy targets. And you see only the ones that had some resilience survived.
Yeah, there's the cricket.
They know you're not doing it. And so as soon as they walk too far forward, they blow cooldowns. Now Trance has no peel. Boom, TP comes in. They have to walk back over. And it comes out. Oh, immediate riposte from Solo. That's what he was doing. He saw that come out, and right here, boom. Cocoon hits, laser across, and the pickup. That was sick.
Yeah, so much damage from Golden Glue, and the exceptional riposte from Solo. Very good play from Ember as they turn Enemy's play around. As you mentioned, looking to get that second place. Wolfie takes a poke. The mid-tier 2 goes down. Finally, it's 6-6 in turrets, but previously, it was even and cold. This time, it's Ember heavily in the lead, almost 6,000 ahead as they siege with their Baron buff down that mid lane. Solo looks for a turret to call his own. Package is going to split him up, though. Solo drops the Grand Challenge, just casually walks away, but Otter might have bitten off too much for Rikachu. Solo looks for it. Can he get the kill? He can indeed. Kenny Yu now forced to walk through that terrifying Fiora zone as Ember dive forward. He gets another kill. Obvious is the next on his list. Keeper's Verdict is going to knock Solo away, but that just gets him closer to another member. And this is the cleanup from Ember. The ace triple kill Golden Glue.
And that's going to be Ember with a clean ace there, not losing anybody. They're going to take this inhibitor and that turret, and they might get some decent damage on this. There's 30 seconds. If they're able to tank this, this could be game here, Dom.
Yeah, just a bit of miscommunication as they stagger the waves improperly. They could be trying to end it right now. The first one goes down. Here come the Baroned up minions. Contracts is going to be the one. Repel resets aggro. Law taking it now. 20 seconds, 6 left for Trance. They're on the Nexus. Ember taking the win over Enemy 2-0. As you mentioned, that puts them in second place.
Yeah, puts them in second place, 1 point behind Apex. So next week, in the 4th week out of 5, they could actually stand to take first place there if Apex has another performance where they split 1-1. But of course, Enemy, that leaves them still at the bottom of the standings, but not tied for 5th. They drop down to 6th now. So things are looking really bleak for them because you have to make top 4, and you're looking at right now 2 teams that are at 2 points with TDK as well as Dream Team. So you have to hope, if you are Enemy, that TDK ends up getting 0-2'd today.
Tricky situation, but for an insider's perspective on that match, we want to welcome Contracts. Contracts, congratulations on the 2-0, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Feels good.
that was some exceptional play. Taking the Elise 2 times in a row. A little bit different from what we've seen with the Mundo in the past. Why are you going with the Elise this time around?
Well, Elise is definitely one of the strongest junglers. She's probably tier 1 right now. She just out-pressures, out-damages every single jungler in the game. He's just pretty good.
So, how old are you again? Are you 16?
Yeah, I'm 16 years old.
So I know that you're like balancing school and online classes at the moment. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because you are like coming into the office and like practicing and scrimming and having to do this all on top. Like, what's it like for you right now?
Well, usually I just do my online classes after scrims, and then I just scrim the whole day, and then I do my online classes maybe from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then I just sleep.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
It's great, man.
That's an intense schedule. That actually sounds a lot like my college experience.
Oh man,
Games all day,
games
and
all day,
school for the last 2 hours.
Scrimming.
Yeah. But I mean, you're doing it at a much earlier age, and you've already made it to Challenger. This is fantastic. I mean, what are your expectations with Ember?
I feel like we'll definitely make playoffs 100%. I'm pretty confident in that. Honestly, I think we'll be first place team, taking everything.
So, with Dardoch kind of out of the picture on TLA and Challenger, do you consider yourself the best jungler in Challenger? Or who do you think is the closest to you?
I think the closest jungler to me is definitely Eve, the Samsung jungler for Apex and stuff. He's one of the best in pathing, just overall knowing what he's doing in the jungle, and I think he's my toughest opponent.
Yeah, and you got to play against him. Actually, you didn't get to play against him, did you? You missed out on that on week 1.
No, I didn't, because they had the subs.
Unfortunate. So we won't get to see that matchup. But if you both make playoffs,
we'll see
then
in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
But yeah,
fingers are crossed. Well, Contracts, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the season.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, we've got one more match coming your way. We'll jump into game number 2 between TDK and Team Liquid Academy. Stay with us. That was awesome. That was a cool game. I really liked how Lot now is in the front. Golden Blue lands a snare. Finally, they're going to drop one. Obvious, it's still alive. He's brought low. The AoE drops Kenny without the wild growth. 5v3, they turn on to Obvious, and Ember are cleaning up. Contracts double kill. Enemy are in a choke, and the Chaos Storm is huge. Solo cleans it up. It's a double kill. Trans, Solo looks for it. Can he get the kill? He can indeed. Kenny Yu now forced to walk through that terrifying Fiora zone as Ember dive forward. He gets another kill.